Hello friends, have you ever wondered how your zodiac sign might shape the way you parent? Do the stars have a say in whether you're the cool parent, the strict one, or the soft-hearted protector? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of astrology to uncover the parenting styles of all 12 zodiac signs. Get ready, because you just might see yourself, or your parents, in an entirely new light. Let's begin. Aries, the energetic coach. Aries parents are a force of nature in the family dynamic, radiating energy that rarely ever dims. From the moment their child is born, they feel an instinctive drive to not only protect, but also to challenge and inspire. Aries thrives on movement and momentum, so their parenting style is anything but passive. Imagine a parent who is always ready with a new adventure, a new challenge, or a motivational pep talk. They see childhood as a training ground for life, and they want their kids to step into it with boldness, not hesitation. Their house is often the one buzzing with activities, sports practices, weekend hikes, spontaneous road trips, and even competitive board game nights where no one is allowed to just play for fun. For Aries, every little moment is an opportunity to teach courage, resilience, and determination. One of the defining features of Aries parenting is their deep belief in action over words. While some parents might give long lectures, Aries prefers to show rather than tell. If a child is scared of diving into the pool, an Aries parent is the first one to jump in headfirst, shouting encouragement while dripping wet. If a child hesitates to speak up in class, Aries will role-play scenarios at home, pushing them to find their voice and not back down. Their children quickly learn that hesitation isn't rewarded, but effort, even imperfect effort, always is. This creates a household culture where bravery is celebrated more than perfection. Aries parents are also natural motivators, embodying the spirit of a coach. They encourage their kids to set goals, chase after them, and refuse to accept defeat as permanent. They know how to give pep talks that light a fire under their children, turning doubts into determination. When their child loses a game, Aries doesn't dwell on the loss. They focus on what can be learned, how to improve, and why giving up is never an option. In many ways, their kids grow up internalizing this competitive but empowering mindset, learning to stand strong even when life throws obstacles in their way. However, this fire can sometimes burn a little too hot. Aries parents struggle with patience, especially when their children don't share the same enthusiasm or speed. A child who needs time to think things through may clash with an Aries parent who is ready to act now. This can lead to moments of tension, with Aries pushing harder than necessary and the child resisting in return. Yet, beneath that impatience lies a fierce love and an unshakable belief in their child's potential. Aries parents don't push because they're dissatisfied, they push because they see greatness waiting to come out. Their love for competition also brings unique lessons. Aries parents often introduce their kids to sports, games, or activities where effort and perseverance are tested. While they encourage winning, what they value most is the spirit of fighting with all you've got. They teach their children that setbacks are part of the process and that resilience is a muscle you build every day. For Aries, it's never about avoiding failure, it's about refusing to let failure define you. Beyond the fiery drive, Aries parents also have a playful, adventurous streak. They're the type to suggest camping in the backyard on a school night or turning chores into a race just to make things exciting. They bring spontaneity into everyday life, showing their kids that rules and routines don't always have to feel heavy, they can be fun if approached with the right energy. Their children often grow up with fond memories of wild adventures, silly competitions, and moments where laughter was just as important as discipline. Ultimately, children of Aries parents grow up knowing that life is not meant to be lived passively. They carry with them the lesson that bravery matters more than fear, that effort outweighs hesitation, and that the world rewards those who dare to act. Even if their Aries parent sometimes seemed impatient or too intense, the impact of their encouragement is lifelong. They teach their children to face the world head-on, with boldness, energy, and a belief that nothing is truly out of reach if you're willing to go after it with passion. Taurus, the grounded provider. Taurus parents are the bedrock of the family, steady, patient, and deeply committed to creating an environment of safety and comfort. When you grow up with a Taurus mom or dad, the word home doesn't just mean four walls and a roof, it means warmth, reliability, and the certainty that someone will always be there to take care of you. These parents have an incredible ability to make their children feel secure in a world that often feels chaotic. Their presence is like a soft blanket on a cold night, calming, reassuring, and constant. One of the most remarkable qualities of a Taurus parent is their consistency. They believe that children thrive best when routines are respected and boundaries are clear. Bedtime isn't negotiable, meals happen at the table, and traditions, whether it's Sunday breakfast pancakes or decorating the Christmas tree together, are sacred. This sense of structure gives their children a foundation that feels safe and predictable. It also teaches them the value of stability in a world that sometimes moves too fast. For a Taurus parent, discipline doesn't usually come in the form of anger or harsh words. Instead, it shows up as gentle firmness and expectations that are unwavering. Taurus parents also express their love through physical and material comfort. They are the ones who will cook nourishing meals, knit scarves for winter, or spend time decorating their child's room to make sure it feels cozy and personal. Their way of saying "I love you" often comes in the form of a hot meal after a long day, or a carefully chosen gift that speaks to their child's personality. They understand that love can be shown not only in words but also in actions that provide comfort and reassurance. Their homes often become sanctuaries, warm, inviting places where children feel protected from the outside world. Yet, with all their warmth, Taurus parents also have a stubborn streak. Once they've decided on what's best for their child, it can be nearly impossible to change their mind. They hold strong beliefs about safety, responsibility, and values, and while these beliefs often protect their kids, they can sometimes feel restrictive. For instance, if a child wants to take a risky career path or explore something unconventional, a Taurus parent may resist at first, preferring stability over uncertainty. This can lead to clashes as children grow older and begin seeking independence. But even in their stubbornness, Taurus parents act out of love. They simply want to shield their children from unnecessary pain and disappointment. Another defining quality of Taurus parents is their work ethic. They model the value of hard work, persistence, and dedication in everything they do. They don't believe in shortcuts or easy fixes. Instead, they demonstrate through their actions that success comes from consistency and effort. Children of Taurus parents often grow up with a strong sense of responsibility and the ability to stick with tasks until they are finished. These lessons, though sometimes tough, become lifelong skills that help their kids succeed in school, careers, and relationships. Taurus parents also place a strong emphasis on loyalty. Their devotion to family is unwavering, and they expect the same in return. They are the parents who will never miss a school performance, who will stay up late helping with a project, or who will sacrifice their own comfort to ensure their children's happiness. They may not always express their emotions in dramatic ways, but their love is steady and enduring. Their kids never have to question whether they are loved. It is shown every day, quietly but powerfully. In addition to loyalty and stability, Taurus parents also teach their children the importance of appreciating life's simple pleasures. They may introduce them to gardening, cooking, or spending time outdoors, helping them develop an appreciation for nature and beauty. They want their children to understand that happiness doesn't always come from chasing the biggest or flashiest things, it often comes from enjoying what's right in front of you. A shared meal, a walk in the park, or a cozy movie night at home can mean more than any expensive gift. Of course, the protective nature of Taurus parents can sometimes cross into overprotection. Their desire to shield their kids from harm might lead them to say no more often than yes, particularly when it comes to anything risky or unfamiliar. This can frustrate children who crave adventure and independence. However, even when Taurus parents hold their children back, their intentions come from love and a deep instinct to keep them safe. Over time, many children of Taurus parents come to appreciate the grounding influence that protected them from bigger mistakes. Ultimately, children raised by Taurus parents grow up with a deep sense of security and belonging. They know what it feels like to be cared for consistently, to have someone who will always show up, and to live in a home where love is expressed through comfort, loyalty, and devotion. Even if they sometimes feel frustrated by their parents' stubbornness or protectiveness, they carry forward invaluable lessons about resilience, responsibility, and the beauty of simple joys. Taurus parents are the kind of people who may not always shout their love from the rooftops, but who quietly and steadily prove it every single day. Gemini, the playful teacher. Gemini parents are like a refreshing breeze that sweeps through the household, filling it with laughter, stories, and curiosity. They are endlessly talkative, always ready with a clever remark, a joke, or a fascinating fact to share. These are the parents who can transform even the dullest moment into an engaging experience. A short drive to the grocery store isn't just about buying food, it becomes a moving classroom where a Gemini mom or dad will explain how clouds are formed, tell a funny anecdote about their own childhood, and then quiz their kids about the planets, all before they've even pulled into the parking lot. For them, every single situation is an opportunity to teach, to share, and to spark wonder. At the heart of Gemini parenting is communication. They don't just talk to their kids, they talk with them. From a very young age, Gemini parents encourage dialogue, questions, and debates. They ask their children what they think, how they feel, and what they want to know more about. This creates a home environment where curiosity is celebrated and no question is ever too silly. Their children learn early that speaking up is valued and that ideas matter, no matter how big or small. Because of this, kids raised by Gemini parents often develop exceptional communication skills and a confidence in expressing themselves. But Gemini parenting isn't just about endless talking, it's about making learning fun. These parents know how to turn education into entertainment. They'll invent games to teach math, tell jokes to make spelling memorable, or use funny voices while reading bedtime stories. They understand instinctively that children learn best when they're engaged and entertained, not when they're simply memorizing facts. Their approach to parenting is like a mix of teacher, comedian, and best friend rolled into one. Their kids often see learning as exciting, not boring, because their Gemini parent taught them to approach knowledge with joy and playfulness. Another strength of Gemini parents is their adaptability. Life with them is rarely static. They love variety, change, and new experiences. This means they're the ones most likely to encourage their kids to try different activities, music lessons one year, soccer the next, maybe even a robotics club just to see what sticks. They want their children to explore the world, to sample its many flavors, and to figure out who they are through experimentation. This openness teaches their kids not to fear change but to embrace it, to see every new opportunity as a chance to learn something about themselves. Of course, the Gemini parents' restless nature also has its challenges. Consistency is not always their strongest suit. They might start a new routine with enthusiasm, family game night every Friday, for example, only to abandon it after a few weeks because something else grabbed their attention. Their children may sometimes feel that their parents' attention is divided or that promises are made more easily than they are kept. But while structure may not always be perfect in a Gemini household, what children gain instead is flexibility. They learn how to adapt, how to go with the flow, and how to navigate the ever-changing rhythm of life. Gemini parents also excel at keeping family life lively. They're quick thinkers with sharp senses of humor, often turning tense situations into laughter before tears even have a chance to fall. If a child is upset about a bad grade or a rough day at school, a Gemini parent will use humor, wit, and perspective to ease their pain. They'll remind their kids not to take everything too seriously, that setbacks are temporary, and that sometimes laughter really is the best medicine. Their homes are often filled with joy and lightness, where children learn resilience through positivity and humor. Ultimately, Gemini parents raise children who are curious, adaptable, and socially skilled. They instill in their kids a love for communication, a hunger for knowledge, and the ability to see life as an adventure full of endless possibilities. While they may not always provide the strictest structure or the most predictable routine, what they give instead is just as valuable. The freedom to explore, the encouragement to speak up, and the belief that life is something to be questioned, discussed, and enjoyed every single day. Cancer, the nurturing guardian. Cancer parents embody the pure essence of nurturing. They are the ones who instinctively cradle their children not just in their arms, but in their hearts. Sensitive, emotional, and deeply empathetic, these parents create an atmosphere that feels like a warm, protective cocoon. When their child is hurting, a Cancer parent doesn't just notice, they feel it too. They'll sit beside them, offer a gentle hug, listen without judgment, and wipe away tears as if those tears were their own. Their ability to connect emotionally is almost psychic. They often know what their kids need before the child can even put it into words. The home of a Cancer parent is more than just a physical space, it's a sanctuary. They dedicate themselves to making their household a safe nest, where love flows constantly and openly. Their kitchens often smell of comforting meals, their living rooms are cozy, and their traditions, whether it's family movie nights, bedtime rituals, or holiday celebrations, are sacred. Their children grow up with the unshakable knowledge that home is always a refuge, a place where they will never be judged or turned away. Cancer parents are protective to their core. They guard their children with the ferocity of a mother bear, doing everything in their power to shield them from harm, disappointment, and heartbreak. This protectiveness is one of their greatest strengths, but it can also become a challenge. Sometimes, their desire to protect crosses into overprotection. They may have difficulty letting their children experience failure, risk, or independence. A Cancer parent might hold on tightly when it's time to let go, worrying endlessly about their child's safety in the outside world. While this can frustrate more independent children, it comes from the purest place of love and fear of harm. Their emotional depth also makes Cancer parents highly intuitive. They can sense subtle changes in their children's moods and behaviors. If their child is struggling, a Cancer parent will pick up on it immediately, often without needing a word to be spoken. This intuition allows them to provide comfort at exactly the right time, guiding their children gently through emotional ups and downs. Their kids grow up knowing that someone truly sees them, hears them, and understands them at a deep emotional level. However, this same emotional intensity can sometimes feel overwhelming. Cancer parents may react strongly to situations, internalizing their children's pain as their own. They can be prone to worry, tears, and emotional swings, and their children may feel a weight of responsibility not to upset their sensitive parent. But even in these moments, the love of a Cancer parent is never in question. Their children may see them as emotional, even overbearing at times, but they also know that this intensity is rooted in care so deep it can hardly be contained. One of the greatest gifts a Cancer parent gives is unconditional love. No matter what mistakes their child makes, no matter how far they wander, the Cancer parent remains steadfast in their devotion. Their children grow up knowing that they always have a safe space to return to, a person who will never stop caring. This sense of unconditional love builds confidence and emotional security, allowing their children to take risks in the world, knowing they have a safety net at home. Cancer parents also teach the importance of empathy and kindness. Through their example, they show their children how to care for others, how to listen, and how to treat people with compassion. They instill values of emotional awareness and human connection, raising kids who are often deeply caring and understanding of others. Their children don't just learn how to be loved, they learn how to love. At their best, Cancer parents raise resilient, emotionally intelligent children who know the value of family, love, and loyalty. Their protectiveness may sometimes feel heavy, but their devotion is unmatched. They may worry too much, cry too easily, or hold on too tightly, but beneath all of it lies a fierce, enduring love that shapes their children forever. Growing up with a Cancer parent means never having to doubt whether you are loved. It is felt in every hug, every meal, every word of comfort, and every moment of protection. Leo, the proud leader. Leo parents radiate a warmth and vitality that fill their homes with an unmistakable glow. Their parenting style is infused with a sense of grandeur, affection, and fierce loyalty, making them both unforgettable figures and central pillars in their children's lives. When you grow up with a Leo parent, you grow up with someone who genuinely believes in you, someone who insists on celebrating your smallest victories as if they were world records. Whether it's learning to ride a bike, drawing a picture, or getting a decent grade on a math test, a Leo parent will be there, clapping the loudest, grinning the widest, and sometimes even recording the moment so it can be replayed for family and friends. Their pride is contagious. It makes their kids feel like stars even when they're just beginning to shine. The household of a Leo parent is rarely quiet or understated. These parents thrive on creating moments of joy, laughter, and celebration. They want their children to experience life as something spectacular, something worth performing for. It's not uncommon for a Leo parent to turn dinner into a show, birthdays into grand events, and even ordinary afternoons into spontaneous parties. They want their children to grow up knowing that life can be joyful and dramatic, in the best sense of the word. Their sense of celebration fosters confidence in their kids, teaching them that they are worthy of applause, attention, and admiration. Yet, Leo parents don't just cheer for their children, they actively push them to find the stage where they belong. They encourage involvement in theater, sports, music, or any activity that allows their kids to express themselves publicly. To them, life is not about hiding, it's about shining. They want their children to understand the importance of confidence, charisma, and presence. Sometimes, this can come across as pressure, especially for children who are shy or prefer quieter pursuits. A Leo parent's strong personality may overshadow a child who isn't naturally extroverted. But even when their approach feels overwhelming, the heart of the Leo parent's intention is pure. They want their child to believe in themselves as fiercely as they do. Leo parents also model leadership in a way that deeply influences their children. They often assume the role of protector and guide, making decisions with authority and conviction. They want to be seen as the rock of the family, the one who can be relied upon in moments of uncertainty. Their kids grow up with a strong sense of security, knowing that their Leo parent is always willing to stand up for them, advocate for them, and fight for them if needed. Their loyalty is unwavering, and their children often feel an unshakable sense of being loved and supported. But with great pride comes a challenge. Leo parents can sometimes slip into needing recognition themselves. They may want to be seen as the best parent, craving acknowledgement for all they've done. Their desire to shine through their children's success can unintentionally make kids feel pressured to perform not just for themselves, but also for their parents' approval. This doesn't stem from selfishness so much as it does from a deep bond between parent and child. The Leo parent feels their child's triumphs and failures almost as if they were their own. Despite this, Leo parents are incredibly generous with affection. They are affectionate huggers, constant encouragers, and natural storytellers. Their children often grow up surrounded by warmth and validation, learning that they are loved not only for their achievements but also for simply being who they are. The Leo parents' love is dramatic, fiery, and sometimes larger than life, but it is never cold or indifferent. Their children rarely have to wonder where they stand, because a Leo parent makes sure their love is known and felt in powerful ways. In the end, Leo parents raise children who understand the importance of self-expression, confidence, and pride in their own identity. Even if they sometimes overstep or push too hard, their ultimate mission is to ensure their kids never dim their light. For Leo, being a parent means being both the cheerleader and the spotlight, guiding their children to step into the center of the stage of life and shine as brightly as possible. Virgo, the thoughtful guide. Virgo parents are the quiet architects of their children's future, carefully constructing a foundation of discipline, responsibility, and attention to detail. Unlike the dramatic flair of Leo, Virgo parents approach parenthood with practicality and precision. They are the ones who notice everything: the undone shoelace, the forgotten homework, the slight change in their child's mood. Nothing escapes their sharp eyes, and because of this, their kids often grow up knowing that someone is always paying attention, always ready to step in with support or correction. Virgo parents thrive on creating order and structure in the home. They believe that children flourish when they have routines, responsibilities, and a clear sense of boundaries. Bedtimes are enforced not out of harshness but out of concern for health. Chores are expected not as punishment but as life training. A Virgo parent teaches their kids that discipline is not a burden but a gift, one that builds character and independence. Their children often learn from an early age how to organize their schoolwork, manage their time, and respect the value of effort. One of the defining strengths of Virgo parents is their ability to guide rather than control. They are thoughtful and intentional, often taking the time to explain the why behind their rules. Instead of simply saying, "Because I said so," they'll explain why vegetables matter, why homework comes before TV, and why honesty is non-negotiable. This thoughtful style of parenting fosters understanding and trust. Their children don't just follow rules blindly, they learn the logic and reasoning behind them, which prepares them to make good decisions on their own later in life. However, the perfectionist streak of Virgo parents can sometimes create challenges. Their high standards mean they notice flaws quickly, whether in their child's schoolwork, behavior, or even appearance. A Virgo parent might point out that a project could have been neater, that homework should be double-checked, or that a room isn't clean to standard. While this attention to detail comes from a place of wanting their children to succeed, kids may sometimes feel pressured or overly criticized. Virgo parents must be careful to balance their constructive feedback with encouragement, ensuring their children don't equate love with perfection. Despite their perfectionist tendencies, Virgo parents are deeply devoted and selfless. They often put their children's needs above their own, quietly sacrificing their time and energy to make sure everything runs smoothly. They may not always show love with grand gestures, but they demonstrate it in practical ways, packing healthy lunches, helping with projects late at night, or remembering every detail of their child's schedule. Their love is expressed through acts of service, making life easier and more organized for their children. Virgo parents also emphasize the importance of responsibility. They expect their children to contribute to the household, whether by doing chores, managing their schoolwork, or taking care of their belongings. This not only lightens the parents' load but also teaches kids essential life skills. Children raised by Virgos often grow up with a strong sense of accountability, knowing that their actions have consequences and that reliability is a trait worth cultivating. At the same time, Virgo parents are compassionate guides. They may seem critical at times, but when their child truly struggles, they are the first to step in with calm, thoughtful support. They provide practical solutions to problems, teaching their kids how to break challenges down into manageable steps. Instead of panicking when something goes wrong, a Virgo parent calmly asks, "How can we fix this?" Their children grow up learning not just to react emotionally, but to think logically and find solutions. In the long run, Virgo parents raise children who are disciplined, capable, and resilient. Their guidance may sometimes feel demanding, but it instills values that last a lifetime. Their children learn that hard work matters, that details count, and that self-discipline is the key to freedom. Above all, Virgo parents give their kids the gift of preparation for life's challenges, for independence, and for success. Libra, the harmonious peacemaker. Libra parents are the natural diplomats of the Zodiac household, always striving to create an atmosphere of balance, beauty, and fairness. They see family life not as a battlefield of authority versus rebellion, but as a shared space where harmony should reign above all else. With a Libra parent, the home feels calm, aesthetically pleasing, and emotionally soothing. They are deeply aware of the moods of everyone around them, and they go to great lengths to ensure no one feels excluded, unloved, or unfairly treated. From the earliest days of their child's life, Libra parents are concerned with instilling values of kindness, cooperation, and respect. They are the parents who will sit down with siblings who are arguing and gently explain both sides, teaching them to see perspectives beyond their own. Their diplomatic style makes them excellent mediators, and they model conflict resolution in ways their children carry with them for life. Instead of barking orders or punishing harshly, they prefer to guide through reason, fairness, and calm discussion. Their children often grow up knowing that every voice matters, that listening is just as important as speaking, and that compromise is a strength rather than a weakness. Libra parents are also deeply committed to fairness. They despise favoritism and do everything in their power to make sure each child feels equally loved and valued. If they have multiple children, they will carefully balance time, attention, and resources, so no one feels left behind. This dedication to equality builds a strong sense of justice in their children. Kids raised by Libras often develop an instinct to share, to treat others fairly, and to stand up against injustice when they see it. But this desire for peace and balance has its challenges. Libra parents sometimes avoid conflict at all costs, which can make discipline tricky. Instead of setting firm boundaries when necessary, they may hesitate, hoping issues resolve themselves. They may sugarcoat problems or delay consequences to maintain the illusion of harmony. Children can sense this reluctance, and some may push limits to test how far their parent will bend. Yet even in these moments, Libra parents approach discipline with empathy and care, preferring to reason rather than dominate. A Libra parent's home is often filled with beauty. They care about aesthetics and create environments that feel warm, balanced, and inviting. From thoughtfully decorated rooms to family traditions that highlight togetherness, they believe surroundings shape mood, and mood shapes behavior. Their children grow up not only in physical comfort but also in emotional comfort, learning to value balance in both outer and inner worlds. One of the greatest gifts Libra parents give is the ability to teach by example. They show their children how to treat others with respect, how to listen without judgment, and how to find middle ground when conflicts arise. Their children often grow up with remarkable social skills, able to navigate friendships, school dynamics, and eventually adult relationships with ease. The lessons of cooperation, fairness, and understanding become second nature to them. Ultimately, Libra parents may not be the strictest disciplinarians, but they are some of the most nurturing and fair-minded. Their children carry with them the quiet strength of kindness and the ability to build bridges rather than walls. Growing up with a Libra parent means growing up in a world where harmony is the highest goal, where fairness is a guiding principle, and where love is expressed through patience, diplomacy, and gentle understanding. Scorpio, the intense protector. Scorpio parents are some of the most powerful forces in the Zodiac family. They love with a depth that is almost impossible to measure, and their loyalty is absolute. To be raised by a Scorpio parent is to grow up with the knowledge that you are never truly alone, that there is always someone in your corner, ready to fight for you, defend you, and stand by you no matter what. Their devotion is unmatched, and their children feel this bond as something unbreakable, almost sacred. Scorpio parents have an incredible emotional radar. They can sense their children's moods, fears, and unspoken needs almost instantly. Without a word being said, they know when something is wrong. A Scorpio parent might notice the subtle change in their child's eyes, the hesitation in their voice, or the shift in their energy, and immediately know something deeper is going on. Their intuition makes their children feel profoundly understood, even when they can't articulate their emotions themselves. This kind of connection is both comforting and transformative. It gives children permission to be vulnerable, knowing their parent will always get it. But with this deep emotional connection comes intensity. Scorpio parents don't love lightly. They love fiercely, protectively, and sometimes overwhelmingly. Their protectiveness can feel suffocating at times, especially as their children grow older and seek independence. A Scorpio parent may struggle to let go, to trust that the outside world won't harm their child. Their instinct is to shield, to guard, to fight against any possible threat. While this can feel heavy, it also creates children who know, without a doubt, that their parent would move mountains for them. Scorpio parents are also deeply passionate about teaching values. They want their children to understand loyalty, honesty, and strength. They are not afraid to have tough conversations or to guide their children through the darker, more difficult realities of life. They believe that shielding kids completely is not the answer. Instead, they prepare them by teaching resilience, inner strength, and the courage to face challenges head-on. Their children often grow up with an emotional depth beyond their years, capable of handling both triumph and tragedy with a steady heart. Another remarkable quality of Scorpio parents is their loyalty. They do not waver in their devotion. Once you are their child, you are their world, and they will never betray that bond. They show up to every important moment, stand firmly in every crisis, and never allow their children to feel abandoned. This loyalty builds a deep sense of trust, So children raised by Scorpios often grow up knowing they can confide in their parents without fear of judgment or betrayal. However, the intensity of Scorpio parenting can also bring challenges. Their need for emotional closeness sometimes blurs boundaries, making it difficult for children to separate their own identities. They may feel pressure to share everything, to be completely transparent, because a Scorpio parent has little tolerance for secrecy. While this can feel overwhelming, it also fosters a culture of honesty. Children may resist, but ultimately, they learn the importance of truth and trust in relationships. Scorpio parents also instill strength. They teach their children to fight for themselves, to never back down from injustice, and to hold firm in their values. Their lessons are not always soft, but they are unforgettable. Their children often grow into adults who are unshakable in crises, loyal to those they love, and fiercely protective of their own families. At their core, Scorpio parents are both warriors and guardians. Their children are raised in the glow of love so strong it sometimes feels overwhelming, but it is also love that is unconditional and eternal. They may be intense, they may be demanding, but they are also some of the most reliable, protective, and devoted parents of all. Growing up with a Scorpio parent means growing up with a shield, a protector, and a guide who will never let you face life alone. Sagittarius, the adventurous mentor. Sagittarius parents are the explorers of the Zodiac family, the eternal wanderers who see life not as a path to walk cautiously, but as a wide-open road meant to be traveled boldly and joyfully. To be raised by a Sagittarius mom or dad is to grow up with a sense of wonder, a curiosity about the world, and a belief that every day can be an adventure. Their parenting style is infused with freedom, optimism, and spontaneity, making their homes feel alive with possibility. If there is one thing a Sagittarius parent will never tolerate, it is boredom. They want their children to see life as something exciting, worth exploring, and full of lessons waiting to be discovered outside the classroom. From early childhood, Sagittarius parents expose their kids to experiences that broaden their horizons. They are the ones who pack up the car for a spontaneous weekend road trip, who take their kids camping under the stars, who wander through museums for hours while explaining history in colorful stories. They don't believe in confining learning to textbooks. For them, the world itself is the greatest teacher. They inspire their children to ask big questions, about cultures, about beliefs, about the universe itself. They want their kids to see not just their own neighborhood, but the entire world as their playground and classroom. Sagittarius parents are mentors in the truest sense. They don't see themselves simply as authority figures, they see themselves as guides who want to prepare their children for a life of exploration, independence, and courage. They encourage kids to speak their minds, to question traditions, and to find their own truths. They believe that wisdom comes from experiences, not just rules. And so they give their children the freedom to explore, to make mistakes, and to learn by doing. Their kids grow up with a strong sense of independence and an ability to adapt to new situations with ease. But freedom-loving Sagittarius parents can also be inconsistent. Their dislike of routine and their hunger for variety mean that rules and structures may not always be enforced as strictly as with other signs. Bedtimes might shift depending on whether the family is stargazing in the backyard or watching a late-night documentary together. Chores might get postponed because a new adventure seemed more important. While this creates a flexible and fun home environment, it can sometimes leave children without the consistency they need. Yet, in the bigger picture, Sagittarius parents teach adaptability. Their kids learn how to handle change, how to go with the flow, and how to thrive in environments that are unpredictable. What makes Sagittarius parents so remarkable is their boundless optimism. Even in hard times, they are the ones saying, "Things will get better, this is just one part of the journey," or, "There's always something new to look forward to." Their faith in life's possibilities gives their children a hopeful outlook, teaching them to see challenges as adventures rather than obstacles. They raise kids who believe in second chances, who dream big, and who never lose their sense of curiosity. Above all, Sagittarius parents give their children the gift of freedom. They don't want to control every step their kids take, they want to inspire them to take their own. They believe their role is not to fence in their children but to hand them the keys to the world and say, "Go explore." And though this sometimes makes them seem less strict or less predictable, their children carry with them something more powerful: open hearts, adventurous spirits, and a love for life that never fades. Capricorn, the responsible role model. Capricorn parents are the builders, the providers, and the steadfast leaders of their families. They take their role as parents with the utmost seriousness, often seeing it as their life's greatest responsibility. To be raised by a Capricorn mom or dad is to grow up with discipline, structure, and an unwavering sense of stability. Their love is not always loud or flashy. It is steady, dependable, and proven day after day through their actions. Capricorn parents believe in the value of hard work, and they model this for their children in everything they do. They are often dedicated professionals who balance their careers with family life, teaching their kids through example that responsibility and effort are essential parts of life. Their children see them waking up early, handling challenges with determination, and making sacrifices to ensure the family's needs are met. This kind of modeling teaches kids the importance of perseverance, reliability, and the satisfaction that comes from earning success through dedication. Structure is a cornerstone of Capricorn parenting. They set clear rules, maintain consistent routines, and expect their children to respect boundaries. Bedtimes, homework, chores, everything has its place and purpose. At times, this may make Capricorn parents seem strict, but their structure creates a sense of security. Their children know what to expect, and that predictability helps them feel safe in a world that can often be overwhelming. While other signs may be more flexible, Capricorn parents believe that discipline today prepares their kids for freedom tomorrow. Capricorn parents also teach their children about responsibility from an early age. They expect kids to contribute to the household, whether through chores, schoolwork, or simply showing respect for others. They instill the belief that everyone has a role to play and that effort is not optional, it's part of being a family. Their children often grow up to be dependable, hardworking, and capable of managing their own lives with maturity far beyond their years. Yet, Capricorn parenting can sometimes feel heavy for children. Their focus on discipline and responsibility may create pressure, especially for kids who crave freedom and play. A Capricorn parent may expect their child to achieve, to excel, to rise to challenges without complaint, and this can feel demanding at times. But beneath that stern exterior lies deep love and devotion. Capricorn parents push their kids not because they are critical, but because they see their potential and want to prepare them for the challenges of the real world. Another defining quality of Capricorn parents is their long-term vision. They don't just think about today, they think about the future. They want their kids to be ready for adulthood, to understand the value of money, the importance of education, and the need for perseverance. They are often the parents teaching their kids how to save, how to plan, and how to set goals. Their guidance shapes children who are not only capable of dreaming but also capable of building those dreams into reality. At the same time, Capricorn parents are incredibly loyal and dependable. Their children never have to wonder if their parent will be there for them. They always show up, whether it's at a school play, a big game, or during difficult times. Their love may not always be expressed in dramatic displays of affection, but it is constant, steady, and unwavering. Their kids grow up knowing that when life feels uncertain, their Capricorn parent is the anchor that keeps everything steady. In the end, Capricorn parents raise children who are disciplined, ambitious, and prepared for the future. Their lessons may sometimes feel demanding, but they instill values that last a lifetime: responsibility, integrity, and the strength to keep moving forward no matter how hard the road may get. Capricorn parents don't just raise kids, they raise resilient, capable adults, future leaders who know the value of hard work and the rewards of persistence. Aquarius, the free-spirited innovator. Aquarius parents are the trailblazers of the Zodiac household, the visionaries who refuse to raise their children by outdated rules or rigid traditions. For them, parenting is not about molding kids into some societal standard, it's about giving them the freedom to discover who they truly are and to celebrate that uniqueness without apology. These parents bring a sense of innovation and originality into family life, often making their home a hub of fresh ideas, unconventional conversations, and boundless creativity. An Aquarius parent is the type who encourages their children to ask the big questions about life. Why are things the way they are? What could be different? How can we make the world better? They don't just accept the status quo, and they don't want their children to blindly accept it either. They instill in their kids the courage to think outside the box, to challenge assumptions, and to stand proudly in their individuality. Their children grow up with a sense of freedom and originality that allows them to feel comfortable in their own skin. Aquarius parents are also deeply supportive of quirks and unconventional paths. If their child decides they want to paint murals on the garage wall, design their own clothing line, or build robots out of scrap metal, the Aquarius parent is the one who will say, "Go for it." Instead of trying to force their kids into traditional molds of success, they encourage them to pursue what truly lights their fire. Their household is a safe haven for weirdness, eccentricity, and bold self-expression. Children raised in this kind of environment often grow up fearless when it comes to being different, and they carry that confidence into adulthood. One of the unique gifts of Aquarius parents is their open-mindedness. They expose their children to diverse perspectives, cultures, and ideas. Dinner table conversations might include discussions about world events, human rights, or the mysteries of the universe. They want their kids to be global citizens, aware of the world beyond their backyard. This exposure nurtures empathy, tolerance, and a strong sense of social responsibility. Their kids learn early that differences are not threats but opportunities for connection and growth. At the same time, Aquarius parents can sometimes come across as emotionally detached. Their strength lies in intellectual connection and forward-thinking vision, but when it comes to raw emotions, they may struggle. They love deeply, but they show it more through encouragement of independence than through constant displays of affection. This doesn't mean they are cold. It simply means they believe true love is giving their children the freedom to become themselves without interference. Yet, for sensitive children, this distance can sometimes feel confusing, as if the parent is more focused on ideas than emotions. Despite this, their children almost always recognize the deep care underneath. Aquarius parents may not smother their kids with hugs and kisses, but they fight fiercely for their children's right to individuality, to freedom, and to self-expression. That advocacy is a form of love just as powerful as physical affection. Their kids grow up knowing that their parent believes in them, supports their wildest dreams, and will never judge them for being different. Aquarius parents also model independence. They show their kids that it's okay to carve your own path, even if it goes against what everyone else expects. They embody the spirit of innovation, often leading by example as they pursue unique careers, creative projects, or community involvement that challenges the norm. Children raised in this atmosphere learn not only to dream, but to dream boldly, and to take the steps needed to make those dreams real. Ultimately, Aquarius parents raise individuals who are unafraid of their own reflection. Their children grow up with confidence, creativity, and a sense of purpose that often sets them apart. The household of an Aquarius parent is never boring, never confined, and never judgmental. It is a place where freedom is honored, innovation is celebrated, and authenticity is the greatest gift of all. Pisces, the compassionate dreamer. Pisces parents are the poets and dreamers of the Zodiac, the deeply empathetic souls who raise their children with tender hearts, boundless imagination, and unconditional love. To grow up with a Pisces parent is to live in a world where feelings matter, where creativity is celebrated, and where compassion is the guiding principle of family life. They don't just nurture their children, they nurture their children's dreams, weaving a sense of magic into everyday moments that makes childhood feel almost enchanted. Pisces parents lead with empathy. They are highly attuned to their children's emotions, often sensing their joys and struggles before a single word is spoken. If their child feels sad, the Pisces parent feels it too, carrying their pain as if it were their own. This emotional sensitivity creates a profound sense of safety. Children raised by Pisces know they will always be listened to, always be comforted, and always be understood at the deepest level. The love of a Pisces parent is like a soft blanket. It wraps around their kids, protecting them from the harshness of the world. They also bring imagination and creativity into their parenting. Pisces parents encourage their children to explore artistic expression, whether through music, painting, writing, or storytelling. They believe that creativity is not just a hobby, it's a way of connecting with the soul. Bedtime stories may turn into magical adventures, rainy days into art projects, and simple walks into imaginative journeys. They teach their children to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. This fosters kids who grow up with rich inner lives, strong intuition, and the courage to dream big. Pisces parents are also incredibly accepting. They don't judge their children for being different, emotional, or sensitive. Instead, they see those traits as strengths. They value individuality, and they nurture it gently. No matter what path their child chooses, whether it's traditional or wildly unconventional, they offer love and encouragement. Their home is a sanctuary of compassion, where kids can show their true selves without fear of rejection. Yet, Pisces parents sometimes struggle with boundaries. Their deep empathy can make it hard for them to say no, to enforce rules, or to create structure. They would rather avoid conflict than risk hurting their child's feelings. While this creates a soft and nurturing environment, it can also lead to challenges. Children may test limits, knowing their Pisces parent is reluctant to enforce them. In the long run, this lack of firmness can sometimes leave kids without the structure they need to thrive. Still, the love of a Pisces parent outweighs these struggles. Their children grow up knowing that no mistake can erase their parents' love, that no failure can take away their parents' belief in them. This unconditional support builds strong self-esteem, even if the world outside is harsh. Their children know that at home, they will always be accepted, forgiven, and loved without conditions. Pisces parents also teach compassion through example. They are often kind not only to their own children but to friends, neighbors, and even strangers. Their kids see them helping others, offering comfort and spreading kindness, and they learn to do the same. Growing up in this environment, children often develop a strong sense of empathy, becoming the kind of people who notice when others are hurting and step forward to help. Ultimately, Pisces parents raise dreamers, children who are not afraid to feel, to imagine, and to care deeply. Their homes may not always be the most structured, but they are full of love, creativity, and spiritual richness. Growing up with a Pisces parent means growing up with the belief that love is the most powerful force in the world, that kindness matters, and that dreams, no matter how impossible they seem, are worth chasing. So, what do you think? Did your zodiac sign's parenting style sound like you, or maybe your parents'? Astrology may not give us a parenting manual, but it certainly offers fascinating insights into how we care for the people we love most. So, what do you think? Did your zodiac sign's parenting style sound like you, or maybe your parents'? It's amazing, isn't it, how the patterns of the stars can sometimes line up so closely with the patterns in our daily lives? Astrology isn't here to hand us a strict manual or to lock us into one rigid box. It's here to shine a light on tendencies, on energies, on qualities that might explain why we parent the way we do, or why our parents shaped us in the way they did. It gives us language for things we've felt all along but maybe never had the words to describe. Think about it. How often have you noticed that your mom's protectiveness feels a little Cancer-like, or that your dad's endless encouragement feels like the fiery push of an Aries? Maybe you've caught yourself planning every detail of your child's schedule with Virgo precision, or maybe you've surprised yourself by letting go and embracing the free-spirited flow of Aquarius. When we step back and look at parenting through the lens of the zodiac, we start to see just how beautifully diverse the approaches to love and care can be. Astrology reminds us that there's no single, perfect way to parent. Each sign brings gifts, each sign brings challenges, and every parent, no matter their zodiac sign, is doing the best they can with the love they have. Some parents raise kids with strict boundaries and unwavering structure. Others raise kids with wild freedom and limitless imagination. And in the end, both paths, when fueled by love, can raise incredible, resilient, and compassionate human beings. What's truly powerful here is the self-awareness astrology gives us. If you're a parent, hearing your sign's tendencies might help you recognize both your strengths and your blind spots. Maybe you realize you're great at inspiring your kids but sometimes forget to slow down and just listen. Maybe you discover that you're amazing at creating a safe home but sometimes resist letting your child spread their wings. These insights don't exist to shame us, they exist to help us grow, to remind us that parenting is a journey of constant learning, not perfection. And if you're not a parent yet, or if you're reflecting on the way you were raised, this perspective can help you understand your family dynamics on a deeper level. It might explain why your childhood felt so adventurous, or why your parents were so focused on rules, or why you always felt so supported emotionally. Suddenly, the pieces of your family puzzle fit together in ways you never considered before. Astrology gives us permission to see parenting as more than a set of responsibilities. It reframes it as an art form, as an expression of love that is shaped by both the stars above and the choices we make each day. It tells us that while we can't change our zodiac sign, we can always grow, evolve, and bring out the best qualities of our sign in how we show up for the people we love most. Astrology may not give us a parenting manual with neat little instructions, but maybe that's the point. Parenting isn't about following rules, it's about love, patience, growth, and showing up again and again, even on the hard days. And if the stars can help us understand ourselves just a little better in that journey, then maybe that's the greatest gift they can give. If you enjoyed this journey through the zodiac, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and check out my other astrology videos. And hey, share this with a parent in your life who might love to hear what the stars say about them. If this journey through the signs gave you something to think about, then give this video a like, it helps more than you know. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the magic of astrology, where we'll keep exploring the ways the stars shape our lives in big and small ways. And if you know a parent, a friend, or even your own mom or dad who would love to hear what the stars have to say about their parenting style, share this video with them. Sometimes, a little cosmic perspective is exactly what we need to appreciate just how much love is already in our lives.